What's up, YouTube viewers? This is the PNW MC Rider. Welcome to another edition of MotoVlog Mondays. This is episode 3. Recording this about 2 weeks since I recorded episodes 1 and 2. I'm hoping to make this one a bit shorter. So with that, today I'm going to talk about something that that really has nothing to do with motorcycles per se. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, computer me.
Yeah, hey, what's up, man?
Roll that new intro. Alright, welcome back, viewers. I want to just give a quick shout out to Okilly Dokilly for licensing me that song to use in our intro. Check them out at the link up here. I'll also link them down in the description below. So, yeah, like I said, this one's not really going to have anything to do with motorcycling. This one's going to hit a little closer to home. Some of you may also feel this one hit close to home. So I got some word on a friend from high school. Got really sick. Has been really sick for a long time, but they were getting better and then they weren't. And then they were getting better and they weren't. Well, Friday, things took a turn for the worse, and they were saying that they gave her a pretty short amount of time to live. Well, unfortunately, that time turned out to be much shorter than even the estimates. She didn't even make it to the end of the day. You know, they were talking weeks or months, and she didn't even make it to the end of the day. So this episode is going to be a little bit more about grieving. The grieving process. I've lost a lot of friends over the last few years for various reasons, and you know, just earlier this year, not too long after I'd purchased Madame Vastra, the bike that I'm on now, I ended up losing a really good friend, and at that time, thankfully, I had time and money and was able to work it out and go to his funeral. And yeah, that ended up being, I think I mentioned it in an earlier episode, 1,660 miles in the span of about 48 hours. And so, yeah, it was really tough, but you know, this time, unfortunately, I'm not even going to get to go to the funeral, just because finances just aren't going to work out that way. And so, you know, I have to grieve a little differently this time. I have to, you know, not be able to go and say goodbye. You know, and she leaves behind some wonderful people. And so, you know, I just hope that they're going to be okay. But it's like, you know, it's one of those things I hadn't. There's a friend that I hadn't really been in much contact with for a while. We had a falling out, and then started talking again probably about 5 years ago. You know, just kind of hit and miss because she was dealing with her illnesses and everything. But you know, just kind of reminded me that, you know, this is something that probably doesn't get talked about enough, is the grief of those that are left behind, and how to deal with it. And so, you know, as I was talking with my sister, who is also friends with said person, and this just kind of blindsided her as to what was going on. You know, and I realized that you know, things had gone so bad, and she was like just completely out of the loop. And so it just really struck me, and it brought back memories from a few years back when I lost that first really hard death, the one that's going to stick with you forever, you know. The one really close relative, the friend from you know, that you've known forever, you know, just those kind of deaths. And so so yeah, I had one of those back in 2015, where everyone just kind of just got together and said goodbye, you know, and we had a big, we ended up, instead of having a funeral, we all threw a giant party to remember him by, because it's just what he would have wanted. And you know, so that was really cool to see everyone again. But it's like, God, it just reminds me anytime that I lose someone to, like, take the time to care for those who are still here, who are also left behind. You know, reach out to your friends, because you just don't know how long you're gonna have. And sorry, it's a really difficult subject, but I think it's really important, you know, to remind people you could die at any time, any day. It can happen. So I know it's kind of a depressing subject and way to talk about it, but it really is the truth. Like, talk to your friends. If you've got someone you haven't talked to in a while, who you were really close with, and you're just wondering how they're doing, pause this video right now. Go do that. Go call your friends or your family members who you haven't talked to. Someone you really care about. Just take the time and call them and remind them that you're there for them, that you care about them, that if they need something and they need someone to talk to, that they can give you a call. Be that person. You never know. It could be the person who saved someone's life just because they had someone there to talk to. You know, I've lost a lot of friends over the years, and some family too. And so I think the one that hit me the hardest, though, was my buddy back in 2015. I was going through a really tough time in my life at that point. I was in the middle of a divorce to a woman that I really loved, you know, at the time, and so I was going through a really rough divorce. And then just 2 weeks after talking to him, to my buddy, he was helping me through some issues that I was having with that, just emotionally. You know, I was blindsided in the divorce, and you know, it happens. You know, my first divorce, I think my ex was pretty blindsided by that. So, you know, but I just wasn't expecting it, and so that really hurt, and I went through a really rough time, and my buddy was there for me. Well, I got a call a few weeks after the last time we talked, from a mutual friend of ours, and he's just like, "Hey, man, like, he's dead," and it really didn't hit me at first, you know. I just kind of went numb, and I was just like, really, you're not just messing with me, like I thought he was just yanking my chain, trying to get a rise out of me, and he's like, "No, man, he's really dead." And you know, my heart sank, and I just kind of sat there numb. And then, you know, I was on a lunch break, so I had to finish my day at work, and you know, I was at the time working a temp job, you know, just trying to pay bills while I was looking for something more permanent. And so finished out the day, turned in my time card for the week, and I was like, "Look, I'm not going to be able to come back. Like, if there's someone else waiting in the wings, like, just take care of it. I got to go." And I went and I dealt with what I needed to deal with on that. Went to the funeral, you know, came back, started looking for jobs again. But But yeah, I think that one, when it really hit me, was the first time I had to call someone else who hadn't been told, who knew him, and be the one to tell him. Because by the time my buddy called me, he's like, hey, I've called a bunch of people. I was trying to wait till you were off work, but I just couldn't wait. And so, here's who I have called. Can you start calling other friends and family and whatnot? And so I started making calls, and by the end of the day, I was just beside myself in tears. I just couldn't handle it anymore. And so, it's just something that that was really rough. And so what I started doing was talking to a lot of friends, and family too. But I leaned very heavily on my friends, especially the ones who knew him and knew what I was going through, and all kind of pulled together and just tried to help each other out as best we could. I mean, it's not, death is not an easy thing to deal with, and now to lose 2 people in 1 year has been very trying. And I can only imagine how her family feels going through this. And so, really the biggest point though is you got to find something that keeps you moving, so that you don't necessarily follow them. Because you have people that care about you too. And so, be there for your friends, be there for your family when someone passes away. And if you need help, if you need someone to talk to, call your friends, call your family. Not only be that person, but find someone who's that person for you. Get what you need to do. For me, I'm going on a ride. I'm talking to you guys. That's what I'm doing. I've got some friends that I've been talking it with, but when my sister was talking to me, and I just, it took me back to that divorce, to that big death for me. And so I just kind of started telling her what I did to get through it. I was like, hey, look, you gotta find something you can do to when it gets too heavy to carry and just too burdensome, to take your mind off it for a minute. Let yourself be free of it for a little bit. And then, of course, and I'm not saying do that forever, because that's just not healthy. But if it gets to be too much, you're having too much trouble bearing it, find something, a hobby, watch a movie, listen to a song, go talk to a friend. If you're like me and you have kids, find someone you trust to watch them for a little bit, and go out and just go do something. Or you know what? If your kids know about it, go out and do something with your kids. So that's just kind of where it's at. So for me, I'm out today, I'm riding about, I'm headed up to my favorite dealership here on the east side of Puget Sound, east side Harley Davidson, where I'm going to go meet up with my favorite sales guy and just say hi and see what he's up to. You'll probably see them as well in a future episode. I've got some stuff in the works with them that I want to get put out. So keep an eye out for that. Probably in a few weeks from now, maybe, hopefully before the end of the year. Hi, how are ya? This is what I was talking about in episode 2 with safety. Even being a great bright green bike, I still had to slow down because they just don't care. But yeah, I mean, be there for people. Don't forget about your friends. Don't forget about your family. Because you just never know how much time you're going to have with them. And so, really, I just wanted to take this episode to take that time to kind of tell that life experience, about dealing with death, especially when it's heaped on top of already dealing with the depression of a divorce. You know, so that was really rough, and thankfully I had a lot of really good friends and a lot of really good family who helped me through it. And and if you're someone who's dealing with grief, find that group to lean on. Find those people who you can just let it out with. You can be honest. You can say exactly what you want to say and not care, not feel judged, and just be real with. You don't have to shoulder grief by yourself. You know, only you can move through it for yourself, but you don't have to be alone while you're doing it. There are people out there who can help you. You've got, you know, if you don't have any friends or family that you feel you can lean on, that you can trust, that'll care, seek professional help. Because I promise you that someone, even if they don't show it, cares about you. So, and be that person for someone else when you can. Because lives matter. And you never know when the life you save could be your own, could be your friends, could be your family, could be the person that turns around and saves your life one day. So just, yeah, that's, you know, I think that's where I'm going to end it. I'm going to keep this one nice and short. I don't want to get too deep into it. And so yeah, I'll include a little bit of music and some footage as I roll up to the dealership up here. You know, just be kind to one another. You know, let's maybe not spread so much hate, and remember that everyone's a person, that they matter. Even if you don't agree with them, they're still a person and they matter. And so be kind to others, take care of each other. You know, especially, you know, you look at the biker culture and you see a lot of that out there. Bikers wanting to be there for other people and help people out. And so, you know, if you ride, do what you can, help others, encourage that culture. You know, I feature Adam Sandoval in the links on my channel. He does a lot of that. His is mostly around veterans and first responders, which is cool. But you know, if you've got something that you're interested in and you ride, you know, look into other riders who are interested in the same thing. You know, see if you can find a charity maybe, and get out and ride and support them and whatnot, and help your friends out. Yeah, I'm really just kind of talking in circles at this point. So with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign this episode off. So yeah, short version is you don't have to be alone. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to have emotions. But don't just lock yourself away. You don't need to. There are people out there that can help. And if you're struggling and you need someone to talk to, drop a comment down below. You know, and we'll see if we can't, you know, start a group that helps each other out. You know, they're out there. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and what is this guy doing? I'm gonna go ahead and roll up here to my favorite Harley dealership up here on the east side. It says East Side Harley Davidson up here in Bellevue, Washington, and you know, talk to my favorite sales guy and maybe check out some bikes. In the meantime, ride safe, have fun. Laters.